In your consumer corner, if you are trying to get out of credit card debt, a good place to start is looking at all the extra spending you do, giving up some of those luxuries. Easier said than done, right? And this morning we're joined by the Oracle of Orlando, Joe Bert. Good morning, Joe. How are you?
Good to be here.
This is a tough one because I think a lot of times we really have to face the facts as far as what we're really spending our money on.
Right.
All of those little things add up. So if you're looking to cut some of your spending, where should you start?
First thing is recognize how much it costs you. The average interest rate on credit cards today, 16.4%.
Wow.
There's no investment that you can make that can give you that kind of return to get, to get ahead financially. My definition of a credit card is a means for buying something you don't need at a price you can't afford with money you don't have.
Yeah.
And so if you're using your credit card to buy these wants, you're really digging yourself a hole. If you're using it to buy, if you're stepping up and using a credit card to buy the basic things like gasoline, food, and you can't pay it off every month, you're in serious trouble.
Okay, so what should you do? What's the best way to stick to your plan of not spending or trying to avoid using the credit cards?
Spend cash.
Okay.
Take money out of the ATM, spend what you have in your pocket. The first thing in life, I think, is to recognize the difference between a want and a need. We all have wants, but we have to understand the difference between the two, and unfortunately, many of us don't recognize that until we get a little bit older. And the next thing is to stay off of Facebook, stay off of social media.
Really?
Because you know what that does to us?
Oh, we compare ourselves.
Yeah, our friends are doing all this, all this, all that, and you don't know what they're spending or how they're doing it. They may be putting it on a credit card, but if they can do it, why can't I do it?
Keeping up with the Joneses.
Keeping up with the Joneses. Stay off the social media. Live your own life.
That's great advice.
Yeah.
Easier said than done, like we said earlier.
Yes.
When it comes to paying off those credit cards, we always like to ask you this question. What's your best approach when it comes to, do you pay down the one that's got the biggest balance, or do you pay the one with the highest interest rate?
Well, there's two ways to look at it. One is financial and one is psychological. And because we're basically psychological, emotional beings, oftentimes the best way to do it is to pay down the smallest one first, the smallest balance, and then you've got that out of the way. So that credit card is gone. Then go with the next one, the next one, next one, then so maybe you're dealing with just one credit card. Financially, it makes sense to pay the one with the highest interest rate regardless of the balance. But we have to look at both, and sometimes I think for most people it's paying the smallest one first, get rid of it, cut up that credit card, do the plastic surgery, cut it up.
The plastic surgery, I like that.
Get rid of it, and then move on and hopefully get rid of all of them. Credit is the thing that'll destroy most financial plans because you start carrying that. And look at the kids today getting out of college with their college student loans, and then they're starting their career. They have to buy the clothes, and then you want to keep up with your peers. They're taking the vacations and all this stuff. And before you know it, you're in debt, you're sunk, and you're filing bankruptcy, can't buy that house, and you're starting your life off miserably. Credit is a killer, and you got to be careful with it.
Responsible.
So, very responsible. Unfortunately, many of us don't learn those lessons till too late in life.
Joe, thank you. Where can people find you?
Just Google me, Joe Bert, 2 words, B-E-R-T.
The Oracle of Orlando.